And now we're moving on to the final figure for the Bruticus week. And this time we're going to look at Transformers Combined Wars Voyager class Onslaught. Now Onslaught is a heavy retool of Hotspot, and for what Hasbro has done to retool the figure, they did a pretty nice job actually changing it into a brand new character. Since it is a Voyager release, it does have the larger box, obviously, since it is part of the Voyager scale. Shows Combined Wars Onslaught there. Back of the bio is normal, and obviously it is the main body. Once again, unlike the deluxe releases, we have a brand new trading card, which actually looks pretty nice. And now we're going to look at Onslaught himself. Articulation-wise, it's pretty much the same you're going to get with Hotspot. So, his head does swivel, which is a little bit tighter on Onslaught here rather than Hotspot. It does have ratchets in the shoulders, which can kind of in the way due to the back piece there, which is a brand new piece. Can have outward shoulder movement. Can bend at the elbow there, and also at the elbow there due to transformation. So it does have a double elbow joint technically. It can swivel. No waist articulation unlike the deluxe releases. Ratchets in the shoulders. Sorry, not shoulders, the hips. Outwards and forwards. Bends at the knee more than 90 degrees due to transformation. And this piece can come off a bit due to transformation. This feet can pivot up just a bit. And also, it can also swivel. So articulation-wise, it is pretty decent for a Voyager class scale figure. Transformation is pretty much the same you're going to get for Hotspot, except kind of in reverse. And the reason why it's in reverse, which we'll see in a minute, first, we're going to collapse the head. Turn these forward like this. Take the legs, and then we're going to switch them around so it looks like this. And we're going to peg this together like so. We're going to collapse the knees into this compartment there, which we'll finish off in a minute. We're going to bend these forward like this. Push these up. This and the gun try to pop off. And for some reason it's having a little hard time getting everything into place. So now we're going to push these little components forward, and they're actually going to collapse on top after we snap these together. So here we go. Snap the back here. Push this here. Now this is where I mean that it kind of goes backwards. As you can see, on the Hotspot release, if I remember correctly, this was actually the front of the vehicle, but as you can see, it's been retooled just a tad. Sorry, the back of the vehicle, should I say. Tad bit. So we're going to push these forward. Then we're going to push this up. And then here, it's actually going to slide into a little empty gap in the middle there. So we need to get this into place and kind of move these components around so we can get into there, though. A bit tricky. There we go. And there we have Onslaught in his vehicle mode. Let's see, I'm trying to get everything aligned, which for some reason it's having a hard time actually doing so. Come on. I always had a little trouble when transforming it into Onslaught's vehicle mode here. There we go. And if I remember correctly, actually, you're supposed to turn this piece around, if I remember correctly. So come on. I'm trying to get everything aligned. For some reason, it's having a hard time getting it done. It does have a little bit of finickiness when transforming it into vehicle mode. So we're going to turn this around. transfer this properly now, since the thing doesn't seem to be working out the way it should. So there we go, okay. Now we got everything together, and as you can see, this piece actually forms the front of the vehicle instead of the back. So that's what I mean by the figure is actually made in reverse compared to Hotspot. In this mode, he turns into some kind of armored carrier, kind of for the... just basically what it is to bring armored troops into battle. One moment. The piece is trying not to connect together. For some reason, it's having a hard time actually pushing in, and I have no idea what's causing that. Okay, there. Once everything is properly aligned, it's supposed to be able to lay flat. So you can see it is a bit off, so it doesn't lay as flat as I like to. But it can be a bit tricky to transform it properly, so just to show the back there. Okay. So it does roll really nicely, and I think it works pretty well for being a retool of Hotspot. Anyways, I'll be back to show a comparison with the other Combaticons in their vehicle mode. Now, I decided to show all the Combaticons in their vehicle mode for the Onslaught review, since it'll be a lot easier to look at just Bruticus alone, since most of the components are pretty much just retools of pre-existing characters, as stated early in the videos. Also, it seems like they actually look really nice together, and I think while Brawl may not be the strongest mold by any means, it still looks nice in vehicle mode, and it works well to represent the characters in the line here for the Combaticons. I really enjoy what Hasbro's done to design what they could using pre-existing molds, obviously for a cost-saving measure, but at least it worked pretty well for the Combaticons in my humble opinion. So, I think they look really cool, and it'll be nice to finally see Computron in the next couple months as well. And hopefully by the time this video is up, we'll see a full-on look at how the release of Computron is going to look like altogether, not including obviously all the little previews that we got here and there. But anyways, there is one other mode that this toys actually turn into, which we'll look more into tomorrow. But first, we're going to look them back in their robot modes to make it easier to just see how the Combaticons look together in their robot modes. And here we have the entire team of Combaticons together. Now, as you can see, the guns are in Onslaught's hands right now, which I actually forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, is that these back cannon pieces can be put into his hands like normal blasters. Now, this is something I don't really like, since unfortunately it does not feature another set of weapons that could be represented as basically his normal armory, since these actually also work as the back cannon pieces, which can be seen in the animation model and so on of the character. So I can understand why it doesn't include a separate set of weapons, since it's definitely going to be a cost-saving measure, since it's going to be a lot to produce several extra weapons so on, and just looking at these sets alone, they really do not have the most amount of armory. So since he already has a set of weapons, I can see why Hasbro decided not to release another set of weapons. But it would have been nice to maybe see a little tiny cannon or something for him to hold at the same time the back cannons, but it's understandable. Now the set is definitely works a lot better combined, which is another reason why I think it's okay that it doesn't have another set of weapons, since from what I could tell, a lot of fans would like to just keep them in combined modes anyway. So that is what we're going to look at next. So we're actually going to be skipping the whole combination process, since the combination process is pretty much the same for all throughout the Combiner Wars. It's pretty self-explanatory, you just move the components here and there. So tomorrow we're just going to look at Bruticus directly. But for now, please check out Hirotaku, which this video should be up there at one point. Also, please check out my Twitter handle under DarkOdd633, and please check down the other channels down below, including the WW Podcast and more. And I'll be seeing you too. Bye.